Hi everybody. Today what I'm going to talk to you about is your service learning project that is worth about 15% of your grade. I just want to go over quickly the expectations for the project. What you can see here is the home page of our course. If you're in my other section, this would say VO3, but for now, or it may say VO1. This is what our course homepage looks like. And so you'll see that I've already posted a new announcement. And that's our assignment for this week, is to go over the project criteria for you to clarify what you are expected to do. Ask me any questions that you need to ask. And make sure at the end of this week that you have enrolled yourself in a group. I'll explain that in a minute. And that you have selected some kind of service learning that you want to complete. So let's get started. So first thing I'd like for you to do is watch this little VoiceThread video right here. It's super easy to watch. You can just click on this and it starts to play. If you want to, there are 10 slides as you can see right here. So if you want to advance the slides, that's how you do that. So give this a look, okay, because this is going to show you kind of where I'm going here with the whole idea of service learning and connecting it to history, okay. Once you have finished watching this, you can click on this link right here to go to the service learning module, which should be the only thing you see this week. I'm in my view. Let me switch to a student view, that way you'll see exactly what I see. And so you can get to the service learning link through going through here, your content browser, or you can come up here to content and click right here on service learning. Okay. And so when you do this, what I have is a page here that's sort of going over what you need to do for this project. This project is called Connecting to History through Service Learning. And what I want you to do this semester is complete 5 hours of community service. You can choose your own service learning activity or organization. You are going to hopefully link your actions to a concept in history, and you should along the way complete the project activities that I post. Okay, so for you to do this, you will be able to exempt 1 week's worth of work, assignments or quizzes. So whatever week you choose to do your assignment, to do your service learning, for that week you can exempt. You're not responsible for the learning activities or the quizzes, getting those things turned into me. Now you will still be responsible for knowing the material, because that material may show up on your midterm or your final. So you'll still be responsible for knowing the material, but if there's an assignment associated with something in the week that you choose to do your service learning project, or if there's a quiz and you are doing your service learning project, then you can be exempted from that. Of course, I will have a way for you to let me know that you want to be exempted. There's going to be a service learning project action form for you to turn in, that you'll need to do that prior to the week you want to be exempted. And so what you will do is you'll turn in this form and say, this is the week I'm doing my service learning, so please exempt me from the learning activities of this week. Now I want to make it clear that you cannot be exempted from the midterm or the final exam. So if you choose to do your service learning during the week of the midterm or the final exam, which actually it'll all be over by that time, but if you choose to do that, then you will still have to take the midterm and the final. You cannot be exempted from that. So, in getting this started, what I wanted to do was break up the um, things that we're learning here in history, U.S. history to 1865, and hopefully have you complete a service learning project that you can reflect and connect to something that you've learned in history. And so I've created these groups. Now understand that this is an individual project. You are not going to be dependent on anybody but yourself to get this project done and get your 15% for this project. However, I'm putting you in groups because I want you to be around people who share the same interests as you. So you can talk with them, discuss with them, maybe about what you're doing, and get ideas about from what they are doing. So to get started, the first thing you need to do, and I have this here on our task list right here, and this is due September 9th, that's this Sunday by 11:59 p.m. You are going to complete the Service Learning Project Info introduction sheet. Okay, I'll show you that in just a moment. Then, per the instructions on here, you're going to enroll yourself in a group. And once you get enrolled in the group, you'll see your group discussion board and you'll answer some very short questions about your group. So let me show you the Service Learning Project intro sheet. Now there's two ways you can get to it. You can click on this link right here that I have, or you can come up here to Assessments, click on Assignments, and you can see here the drop box. And you can click on this sheet and download it. Now this sheet right here, this is the project learning. This is one of the first things you'll need to turn in for this Sunday. Service Learning Project Introduction Sheet. So it gives a rationale for the project, and then it asks you to complete the sheet by doing the following. You need to decide what group you want to be in, and I'm going to show you the different groups in just a moment. Review the different groups and then choose one that closely matches your interest. Remember, and I can't stress this enough, this is an individual project, so you don't have to work with your group members to complete your community service. Okay, that's individual, unless you choose to. But you will converse with these people that you are in the group with. So the first order of business is to choose your group and enroll yourself in groups. Now you do this, enroll yourself in a group through the communications menu, and I'll show you how to do that in just a moment. You also will complete the Service Learning Introduction discussion posting once you enroll yourself in the group. Also, you're going to research and document 5 potential organizations, events, or strategies in which you may be able to involve yourself to complete this project. So your research should include the organization, the event, or the strategy, and some potential dates that you can complete this. Okay, so your dates should fall between September 10th and November 16th. That's kind of our time period to complete this project, okay? And it's 5 hours, sometime between September 10th and November 16th. So when you turn in this sheet right here, the Service Learning Project Introduction Sheet, you should, on this sheet, name your group and then those 5 organizations and potential dates. So these are the groups. The first group is called Converging Cultures. We just studied that in our last week. Okay, so why would someone choose this group? Well, do you have an interest in working with people who are different from you? Okay, interested in learning about other cultures or maybe about other faiths, different religious organizations. This is going to connect to history for that first unit that we just we're in the middle of right now. And why would somebody choose this group? Well, maybe you want to try something new, help a different culture of people. What can you do in this group if this is your group? You can get in touch with organizations or departments like here on campus, CSU, the Department of Diversity, and find out what events they have. I know they have a Hispanic Heritage Month coming up. So get in touch with that department. Ask them, can I do something to help you? I've got a 5-hour community service project I have to do. Are there some flyers I can hand out? Do you need help setting up tables or setting up the room? Or you can go to a different religious organization, something different from yourself, and ask them, do you need help organizing an event that I can help you with? I have 5 hours of community service that I have to complete. Okay? The next group is civic responsibility. This is kind of the group that I chose to be kind of the catch-all. If you don't really see yourself fitting into any of the other groups, this might be the group that you decide you want to go with. This is just somebody who wants an interest in maintaining a quality society. And so this is going to relate sort of to our second unit, where we just try to make our society, our community, a better place. The service learning ideas here could be something like walking dogs at PAWS, helping out at the Boys and Girls Club, some other organization that you may be a part of already that you want to use for this project, okay? The next group is going to be our reformers. Now, the reformers we will learn about them in Unit 3. These people took a look at society and said, you know, there's some people who really need help, whether it's the mentally ill, whether it's people who may have problems with substance abuse. Okay, so maybe you find yourself leaning more towards this group of people. If so, there are some different, maybe you want to volunteer at a homeless shelter. Maybe you want to volunteer at a mental health facility. Okay, the next group right here is leadership. Do you see yourself as a leader? Maybe you can lead a small group of people to help clean up trash off the Chattahoochee River or something like that. You know, throughout this term in U.S. history, we are going to be talking about several leaders from the early founders of the United States, those who took us from being a colony to being the United States. Leaders such as Elizabeth Cady Stanton, who was the early leaders of the women's movement. Frederick Douglass, early leaders of the civil rights movement. Do you see yourself being a leader? So what I want you to do, if you're thinking this group fits you, is I want you to organize and lead a group of people. And it doesn't have to be a big group. It can be a small group of people to do something to better the community. Okay, and then the last group right here is really a good opportunity for us. These are people who are interested in involving themselves in the democratic process. You may not be aware, or maybe you are aware, that this year we are going to be, this November, we're going to be electing a governor. And so if that means something to you, if you are interested in working with a politician or somebody who's campaigning, why not go into the Democratic Party headquarters here in Columbus and say, hey, what can I do? I need 5 hours, okay? Maybe you put up signs. Maybe you make some phone calls. Or the Republican Party, because we'll have a Democratic candidate and a Republican candidate. Maybe there is another cause that you know of that you want to involve yourself in. Maybe they're going to demonstrate or do some kind of protest. Okay, so if that is you, if you think that's you, then involve yourself in this group. If you have never, if you've always thought that this was something that you wanted to do, I would take this opportunity to get involved with this, because I think that you will really have a great time and experience doing something like this politically. Okay, so those are our 5 groups. Okay, And they're listed right here on your Service Learning Project introduction sheet. Okay, let me show you real quick how to enroll in a group. So I'm going to come back here to our home page, and I'm going to click right here on Communications, and then I'm going to scroll all the way down here to Groups. Now this might look a little bit different. No, I think it's going to look good. It's going to look the same. Okay, so there are several groups right here that you can put yourself in. And so what you would do is you would choose one of these groups and then just self-enroll. Okay? It looks a little bit different because I am in as an instructor and not as a student. So let me see if I can, maybe I am as a student. Let's see. Yeah. So if you have any trouble getting yourself into a group, just let me know. Each group has a maximum of 10 students that can enroll. So if you have trouble finding this and not sure what you're supposed to do with this, please let me know. Okay, but first, your first order of business is to decide which group you want to be in. Simply putting your group name on here and turning this sheet in does not guarantee you're going to be in that group. You have to self-enroll through CougarView. Okay. So our tasks for this week, our assignments for this week, are for you to self-enroll in a group. First, you can look at your Connecting to History through Service Learning sheet. Fill this out. Consider what you might want to do. Okay. Enroll in one of these groups. And then once you get into that group, you'll have a discussion question. It's just a couple of questions, mainly asking why you chose the group and what you think you might want to do. And I encourage you to talk to your other group mates, find out what they're doing. Maybe there's an idea that you can get from them if you're still a little bit unsettled or unsure of what you want to do. Regardless, if you have any questions or need more information about this, please reach out to me. My contact information is right here. If you have questions and you think other people in the class might benefit, okay, don't forget about our, and now I've scrolled it way down to the bottom, very bottom, the muddiest point in the course. Okay, this is something that all students have and can look at. So if there is something that you think other students might need to know as well, put your question there and I'll monitor that and have it answered. Okay. Thank you for listening. If you have any questions or need more additional information, please feel free to give me a call.